What's up YouTube? I am the Planet Rocks and welcome back to another playthrough of Our Life. So today we're going to be doing the Wave chapter. Just want to let you know to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, do like this video and comment please. You can also follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitch, and you can also like and follow me on Facebook. And without further ado, let's begin. The family shopping trip had lasted most of the morning, and you still had to unload everything from the trunk before you could enjoy the afternoon. You cradled another bag in your arms as you headed towards your house. It was one of the heavier bags from the grocery store, loaded with fresh apples, ripe tomatoes, a bunch of carrots, and even half a watermelon. Ma came out the front door and paused just ahead of you.
It's no trouble.
Need any help with that, Jamie? I can bring it the rest of the way if you want me to. Yeah. Even if it was heavy, you wanted to bring it in yourself. Ma gave you an encouraging grin and rustled her fingers through your yellow hair. You set the next bag on the counter. Your older sister began to root around inside for the contents with a sigh. How much is left? Still a few more bags. With a huff and a puff, Elizabeth continued putting away the groceries and you retreated out of the kitchen before you could become the target of her bad mood. Careful, Jamie. You hadn't been looking where you were going and bumped right into Mom, almost stepping on her toes to boot. Sorry. I can give you a pass this time, but be sure to watch where you're going. If you run into the wrong person, you might get your license revoked. She grinned at the bad joke as you continued through the door. Outside, Ma had started organizing what remained and putting back any loose objects that had fallen out during the trip. When you stepped up to the trunk beside her, she took in a big breath of air, her dress gently swaying around in the breeze.
It's a shame.
It's a shame we had to spend the morning cooped up in that shopping, Santra. It's a beautiful day, don't you think? You tilted your head to the sky, gazing at the clear blue expanse. You closed your eyes and enjoyed the way the sun warmed your face for a few moments before turning back to help Ma with the groceries. Oh, hi, Cove. You noticed Mom wave over at Cove, who had just exited his front door, his surfboard propped up under one arm. Let me see, surfboard and wetsuit. Where might you be off to on this beautiful day? Cove instantly startled, not having realized your family was also out here, even though your mom was the one who called out. You were the one he looked at. He tried to settle down again. He jogged across the pavement to properly say hello to you and your parents. It was decidedly awkward, since Cove had trouble figuring out how close to stand to you. The addition of his unwieldy surfboard made the whole thing seem even clumsier. Careful with that thing, you'll put someone's eye out. Mom chuckled and got a whispered reproach from Ma for it. Pam, please, go easy on him. Cove winced. Sorry, Mrs. Donovan. Don't mind her, honey. It's a beautiful day for surfing. I haven't been out on the waves in a long time. I'm jealous. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a few good waves before it gets dark. Hi, Cove. He had relaxed a lot when Ma spoke to him, but the rigidity came back as soon as you said something.
Hey.
Hi, Jamie. Cove managed to grin, and it almost felt like you had butterflies in your stomach. Do you want to come hang out there later? You noticed the flush of red on his cheeks, but that might just have been from the heat. Cool. When he spoke again, he tried to contain some of the excitement that was clearly ready to burst. It'll be fun. You're not done unloading, right? Can I help?
No.
This is our job. You go enjoy the beach. Jamie can catch up as soon as he has finished here. Alright, I'll see you. Yeah, bye for now. Cove headed on down to the beach, with more skip in his step than normal. It was really cute. You smiled softly to yourself at the thought that you'd be joining him soon. He sure seemed to perk up after you agreed to meet him there. I wonder why that could be. Ma. Now who's giving him a hard time, Lana? Lainey?
Shush.
Shush, it's different. Mom's face broke into an incredulous grin. In what way? I'm being supportive, and he can't hear it. Mom laughed. Mom full-on laughed that time.
Lonnie.
You're the worst of us when it comes to this, honestly. I keep trying to warn people, but they won't listen. I want to help. I think it's fair to say he might need it. Meddler, but you have a point. Right? You narrowed your eyes at their teasing, and they simply chuckled conspiratorially before taking more bags from the trunk and heading inside. Once everything had finally been taken in and put away, you got yourself ready to meet Cove at the beach. Yeah. You said the same thing to your parents, and while Ma laughed a little, Mom gave you a smile.
Well,
You'll just have to go there and see what happens. Cove must have been so excited to invite you there that he forgot you don't surf. Or he's hoping you'll go to watch him so he can show off. Oh yes, I used to do that. I know, hon. I experienced Jamie's situation firsthand. I was stuck on the shore too. You noticed what I was doing? Yes, after the very first time. It was not a subtle move. How embarrassing. I was still impressed.
oh,
Thank you. Wow, Ma.
hey.
Hey, what are you still doing here? Go on, have your fun. I love it, the two moms just had a moment. Okay, you're only young once, but don't do anything I wouldn't have. Okay. At your parents' prodding, you hurried to leave the house and head down to the beach. When you arrived at the shore, you were greeted by the crash of waves and the soft calls of seagulls. You took in a lungful of the ocean air and felt your white skin warm in the sun. You noticed a small setup nearby with a towel, some sunscreen, and a bottle of water. It must be Cove's. You spotted Cove himself nearby. He hadn't gone out to sea yet. He was just sitting in the sand at the water's edge, his board propped up beside him. You strolled up beside him. Hey, I'm here. Jamie. He looked up at you with a smile and quickly hopped to his feet. I was wondering if you were still coming. I wouldn't have missed it. He chuckled shyly at your insistence. Okay. Then he cast his eyes out towards the waves. I'll stay here and watch you surf. Oh. You were ready to spread out your towel and take it easy.
Worry about it.
I don't have to go out. I'll stay with you on shore. What? Or, if you want, you could use one of my other boards. I could teach you? I owe you that much, right? I was the one who always promised to show you about surfing. True. He's offered that option to you for pretty much as long as you've known him. You were touched, he remembered. Okay, honestly, like, yeah, I would, like, want him to teach me. That would be, like, something I would do. Yeah. I'll do it. Let's surf. Cool. It was settled. Cove left up the shore and then returned with an extra board under his arm in no time at all. You paddled out into the sea to where the good waves were. The water was cool against your skin.
It's nice.
Not too calm, but nothing crazy. It looks perfect today. He smiled at you and you couldn't help but smile back. You felt totally content. Until Cove kicked the water a little too hard and it inadvertently splashed you. Hey! Sorry. The apology did not come across as especially repentant, as he was practically laughing when he said it. You splashed him back. You laughed, but waited for an opening for revenge. The second he looked away, you kicked back, spraying him.
Seriously?
Is that any way to treat someone trying to help? I came out here to teach you. Okay, buddy. And I was just following your example. Cove tried to keep a straight face, but ended up looking away. The water you flicked at him landed in shiny droplets in his hair. Then here's another lesson. He soaked you deliberately this time. He used his full leg, and an impressive curtain of water hit you in the face. You lost your balance and scrambled to keep hold of the board. You just managed to stay on, but it was close. Cove winced. Are you okay? That wasn't what I was trying to do. I'm fine, but we should do the real teaching. Yeah. He chuckled awkwardly and shook some water out of his ear. With that, Cove started telling you all the tips and tricks of how to stay on a surfboard. He demonstrated both good and bad posture and explained where you needed to put your weight. Like this? You wiggled your body so that you were more in the center of your board. Cove nodded. Yep, just like that. The little lesson continued, and it was disastrous. Things clicked with you quickly. It had to go slowly, but you got it. There we go. That's me. Cove did his best to guide you through the process, and by the end you felt you had picked up the basics of surfing. Occasionally he reached out and touched you to more directly help get positions right. It felt nice. But if you acknowledged you noticed his touch at all, he would instantly pull away. Since you'd spent so much time working on balance and stable water, you wondered when you would actually get to catch some waves. You brought it up to Cove and he nodded. If you think you're ready, go for it. You'll do great. Alright. With that, you graduated from Cove's class and the two of you were able to surf together more casually, even if he was still better at it. What an afternoon. The setting sun was visible on the horizon. Every time you would look away, it had sunk a little lower. The beach was darkening, but still pleasantly warm. You knew you should get out of the water before it was completely dark in the sea. You rode one last wave to get back to the beach. There you picked up your surfboard and gave it a quick once-over. Cove followed behind you to the shore. He put his board with his other things and grabbed his towel to start drying off. As he ruffled his hair with the towel, you watched the sunset together. The colors were beautiful in the distance and the shadows around you deepened. There was no need for words between you, as you both enjoyed the sight for a moment. Cove broke the silence. The waves were good today, I think. He nodded mildly. You chatted a little more until the conversation truly died out and all you heard was the rhythmic sound of waves. Then Cove sighed. The day can't be over. Not yet. He scowled into the distance as if the sun exiting the sky was a personal offense. Don't you think it should be longer? Cove stood up straight in defiance of the approaching darkness. I'm not gonna go home yet. I want to go somewhere. I don't know. Cove was still dripping in salt water, but you weren't sure what the alternative was. Wetsuits were fine for the beach, and not much else. It wasn't a good idea for him to lug his surfboard around town either. We'll sure be welcome anywhere, so you like. I'm gonna say that just to fuck with him. Cove's face and ears flushed red as he looked down and inspected himself. He crossed his hands over his chest self-consciously. He had been so used to wearing it that Cove hadn't given his current choice of dress any thought. At least that was before you pointed it out to him. Well, you would too, so... Oh my god. Cove's eyes widened when he processed what he had just said and awkwardly decided to give up on the whole thing. Then he looked down the shore with wide, shining eyes. There's at least one place that's always okay to hang out in, no matter what time it is. The park. You nodded. The park was virtually always empty. Even Elizabeth only went over there nowadays if she was looking for you. How times have changed. She used to be so protective of the place. In fact, the only person there was a chance of running into might be that Jeremy kid again. You brought the idea up to Cove and he cringed, but I'm still going. The sun is still there, a little. I'm staying out as long as it is. You tagged along. Okay, let's go. Cove took a minute to put his stuff in order. He made sure to get it all, though it didn't take much care to shake the sand off. You dealt with your own things. Everything together quickly. I'm done, Cove. He rolled his eyes with a bent smile at the announcement. He led the way down the beach to the park. It wasn't far, so it didn't take you long at all. The sun still hadn't completely disappeared just yet when you made your arrival. Cove stuck his surfboard upright in the sand and tossed his towel over top. By now, the two of you were mostly dry. The summer breeze on your skin kept you pleasantly warm. Cove idly went over to the monkey bars. He grabbed them, feet flat on the ground, and pretended to go across. He had definitely grown in the past few years. You could barely use the monkey bars yourself. There wasn't much space at all between you and the ground. When he got to a bar in the middle, Cove pulled himself up and through, then sat on top of the bars. His legs dangled off the side of the bar he perched on. You joined him on the monkey bars. Yeah. Without Cove's height advantage, getting up there was more difficult, but you made it. You climbed on the side of the monkey bars and pulled yourself up to the top. You settled yourself between two of the slats. The skinny metal wasn't the most comfortable thing to sit on, though you enjoyed the height it gave you. Guess what? He smiled broadly and raised an eyebrow. He's not here. Right, it was true. There wasn't a single sign of Jeremy. Looks like it was just going to be the two of you tonight. Cove hung his head and groaned dramatically. Your eyes widened when he whipped his head back up.
No way.
I can't believe how dumb my parents are for forcing me to come to this stupid place. You were taken aback and blinked for a second before you realized he was quoting Jeremy. Cove chuckled back at you, a mischievous glint in his eye. You looked around. The old park, the streets you knew like the back of your hand, at the beach. These were your stomping grounds. You wondered how Cove actually felt. How much was his joke just a joke, and how much was sincere dislike of this place. Moving had never been his choice. Do you actually like this neighborhood? Do you really have to ask that, Jamie? Cove kicked his legs carelessly as they dangled. He smiled softly. I like it here, I really do. It's a nice place. He didn't hesitate, there was no uncertainty. That was his genuine opinion. Well, of course, I'm here after all. That would not be me. A contented feeling fell between the two of you. It didn't take long for the day to finally draw to a close. The sun was gone and it was dark. You chatted a while longer, but it was definitely winding down. I wish days were longer. I wish this day was longer. His feet kicked out. It made him look like a pouty child. Oh well. Cove sighed. It was time to go home. He hopped down from the monkey bars with a thump when his feet hit the ground. You clambered down the monkey bars yourself. You lowered yourself more slowly than Cove and barely made a sound when your feet reached the ground. Cove grabbed his surfboard and threw his towel around his neck. With his water bottle in hand, he was ready. You both began your trek up the road. It was a quiet night, and you didn't run into anyone else. In what felt like no time at all, you had reached your street. As you walked, Cove smiled to himself. It was a soft expression, and you couldn't help but wonder what put it there. Everything okay? I just remember when we were younger, it used to be such a big deal to come home after dark. You could indeed recall. If you got sandy, your parents would have something to say. If you got wet, your parents would have more to say. And if you came back home after dark, well, your mom's and his dad better have said it was okay beforehand. You used to need permission for everything. That small comment he made exposed just how much freedom you really had this summer. Cove looked up into the sky, a smile still on his face as the two of you walked side by side reminiscing. When you came to your houses, you turned to each other. Thanks for today, Jamie. It was nice seeing you. Cove waved, and you both turned around to your respective houses. This was a pleasant end to the outing, you thought. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for joining me for that. So, yeah, next time we'll do growing. Thank you so much for joining me. I am the Planet Rocks. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications. Do like this video, leave a comment. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. You can also like and follow me on Facebook. I am the Planet Rocks, and I will see you next week.